Hi and welcome back to the channel. My name is Tasha. So today we're going to do a little bit of a market vlog. I am going to take you along with me as I make some plushies for my market. I go to the local farmers market every other Sunday. We are getting close to the end of the season though, so I only have 2 left. I'm going to try to get into the last 3, so technically there's 3 left of the season. I go every other Sunday, so that's the reason I only have 2 left. So I'm gonna try to get into the last 3. We'll see, at least the last 2. So I need to make a few more plushies. I have a decent amount made, so you probably won't see me do a whole lot. I at least will show you kind of what I have done so far. It's not a whole lot, to be honest. I have a full-time job and I have a 1.5-year-old, and so it makes things a little bit difficult. My husband is the one that stays home with her, but it's just difficult. She's taking a nap right now, so that's the reason I can even record this to begin with. So I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to get done, but I do have a decent amount I can at least show you eventually. So we'll see how much stuff I make this week. It is Tuesday, the Tuesday before the Sunday morning market. So at the very least, you may see me do a little bit, and I can show you some of my patterns. Any of the patterns that you see me do, hopefully I will be able to get them linked down below. I use a lot of free patterns because they're cheaper, but I do have some really good paid patterns as well that people probably know of already. But if you don't, they're down in my description. Anyway, here's to crocheting this week. We'll see if I get anything done. At the very least, I will at least show you what I get done, even if I don't show you the process, but we'll figure it out. So here's to crocheting this week. So it is Sunday morning at 5:48 in the morning. It's really early. Today we're doing a farmer's market, the local farmer's market just a few minutes away from me. It's not a big farmer's market by any means. I live in a pretty small town, but I have been going to this farmer's market. This is probably my 5th farmer's market so far. This is the first one I've ever recorded because I don't know why. Really, I should have been recording and having you follow along with me this entire time, but whatever. But really quick, I wanted to show what I'm going to be bringing to the market because I haven't done that yet. So I have my basket full of things over here, and I'm just going to kind of pull from them. I'm going to start first with my keychains. I have a lot of my keychains. I sell them for $5 a piece. I probably should raise them, but this is one of those farmers markets that are, it's different. I heard a vendor who sold bracelets that said that they charge, for their bracelets, they charge $5 a piece. They're like beaded and like macrame bracelets. And she says she charges $5 a piece at this market and $10 everywhere else. So basically, I live in a city that's a little bit more heavily older people. Not technically a retirement town, but kind of a little bit. Obviously not required, but slowly the town is starting to turn into more younger couples like me and my husband and stuff, and like younger families. But because it's affordable, it's a pretty affordable place to live. At least it was. But because of that, because the demographic is a little bit older, we end up having just older people who are just not as interested in stuff like this. And because it's so small, we just have to have our prices a little bit cheaper. That was a long explanation as to why all of my keychains are $5. But I've got a bag of them here, and I'll kind of pull out some of them and show you some of the ones that I have. And but they're really fun. I usually try to find designs that only take me about up to 30 minutes, just so I'm not losing money on a $5 keychain. But I don't have a ton of them, but I do have a few. So hold on. I need to get a little bit better lighting. Let's see if we can fix this, because that's hard to see. Just kidding. I thought I had a ring light in here and I don't. It's in the car. So hopefully you can kind of see this. Sorry. It's really stormy outside too. So it's, of course, even if the sun was out, you wouldn't be able to see much. I usually have a ring light, but it's in the car. So, but I have this whale. Very cute. I sell a ton of these. Currently only have one because they do sell out so fast. So this is a new one, and I'll try to remember to put all the patterns. Most of these are free patterns, but I'll try to remember to put the patterns down below. We'll see if I end up doing that. But this is a free pattern from, I think, All by Jade, I believe. I can't remember. But I also did a shark. This is brand new. This is the only one I've ever made. It still needs its little keychain, but little shark. Oh. It's really stinking cute. I love it. I also did these, and these have been in stock for a while because they're not green, and I think that's the problem, is people don't recognize them. But it's this little, oops, it's this little sitting frog pattern. It's a really cute pattern, and I love it, but all of my green ones have sold out, but all of these random colors have not, because, like I said, I don't think people recognize what it is. And here's a purple one. So these are all the colors I have of that one. Here's another one-off keychain. I have a sunflower. I just made up a pattern. I found a pattern for a sun on YouTube, and I just kind of changed the colors. The ones that have sold are like, they have the lighter middle part, so you can kind of see the face. There's like actually a little face on there. It's really cute, but these don't sell very fast. But I also have a leggy frog keychain. Super cute. This is like a really popular pattern on Etsy, and it's adorable, and I love it. I also have some bigger ones too, you'll see in just a minute, but I made it with smaller yarn, so it's a little bit smaller. I mean, it's a pretty big keychain, but it's at least smaller than the other ones I have. Then I have two jellyfish. Believe it or not, these actually sell quite a bit too. I've made like probably 5 or 6 of these, and I only have these 2 left. So these ones I thought would do a little bit better. I made 5 of them, and I still have 4 in stock. I don't actually remember selling it, so hopefully no one stole it. But these are gummy bears. They're just basically little bear shapes without the eyes. They're really cute. I really love them. And this yarn is so soft. I got this yarn from Amazon and I love it. I may or may not. I started recording a video of me reviewing this yarn, so I don't know. I may or may not go back to that. You may or may not have seen that or will see that. I don't know. But this yarn is really nice. It's this like chenille, like soft, almost like velvet chenille yarn. But it's thinner. It's not what you would think that like chunky yarn would be. But it's really nice. But I think these are really cute, and I love the little pastel colors that I chose, but it's not super popular. People look at them all the time and they recognize the fact that they are gummy bears, but they just are not as popular, and that's okay. I also have these guys, which they need, a couple of these still need the little keychain, and that's the reason I still have the little string on it, so I can kind of string on the keychain. But these are little octos. Love these. These are another really popular one that I cannot make enough of. But what's good about this is another little free pattern, and it takes absolutely no time at all to make it, which is really good. Like I said, $5. There's not much room for, you know, like an hourly wage in a $5 item. So it's nice to find a little pattern that's cute and people like to buy it. So anyway, this part's gonna take forever. I'm so sorry that this is so long-winded, but I haven't even gone through my keychains yet. Here's another new one that I did. Just like from the same person that made this little leggy frog pattern, they also made this little baby leggy froggy. I still have to put a little mouth on it, and it also needs this keychain, but I made this little baby one, and it's really cute. I love it so much. It's adorable. So it's actually the beginning of September, so of course I also have a few like fall / Halloween related things. And so my first one is this little rear view mirror hanger, and it's got a little ghost on it and then a little pumpkin. I just made up the pattern. I found the pattern for these guys on this is a free pattern from Instagram, and this is just a free pattern on YouTube. And I just put a chain thing in between it, and so you just put this in your rear view mirror, and it's really cute. So I have one of these. I will probably make more of these for my next market, which is the first week of October, so the first Sunday of October, because I figure it's October at that point and people are going to be, you know, wanting to buy their Halloween items. Then along those same lines, I've got these little ghost keychains. I've got my coffee right here and I'm nervous I'm gonna just toss a keychain in it, but I've got these little ghosties. So this one was made with that chenille velvet yarn, and then these are just made with worsted weight cream yarn. They're really cute. I love them so much. Again, that's another like free pattern on Instagram. I'll try to post down below. And then the last keychain that I have done is these pumpkins, because again, it's fall time, right? I mean, I live in the South, so it's still really hot here. It's like in the 80s, 70s, 80s degree Fahrenheit. I wouldn't consider it fall, and also our leaves haven't started changing or anything yet, but it's close enough. And there was a vendor, there's another crochet vendor that vends at this market. I haven't seen any other ones other than just me and this other girl, and she's so sweet. She's amazing. But she did some keychains, little pumpkin keychains, and I saw people buying them left and right. Anyway, I got these two. I probably should make more because I just feel like these are going to sell out really fast. But especially the orange one, because of course people love orange pumpkins. But I just figured it's fall time. These are adorable, and they're really not too hard to make. It's just a little bit of a learning curve. But there's those. So we'll put all these back in the bag. In addition to my crocheted keychains, I also have acrylic keychains. I had a sticker business prior to this. Same name, The Red Panda Co. is my business name. And I sold stickers, keychains, pins. I even got an enamel pin made, which is another thing I bring to the markets randomly. And I've sold a couple of them, but really not like my main thing, right? My crochet stuff is my main thing. But I figured I'd show you some of the designs I have. These are all original drawings of mine. Some of them are characters that already exist, but I drew them, so it's not an original character, but some of them are, but they're all drawn by me on my iPad. So I've got this little guy. If you're familiar with Animal Crossing, this is a squeakoid. It's a gyroid. They make like little noise. You can like dig them up from the ground and they make little noise. And when you get enough of them together, they sing to your music and stuff like that. But I just drew this one because he was my favorite. So I have a bunch of these ones because I never ended up getting them up on my Etsy shop. And so I have a lot of them. And then in Halloween fashion as well, but I did make this a few years ago, but I have a little candy corn guy. And these ones come with a little star clasp. And then I also have this moth. It's hard to see, but with the reflection, but moth. And then another couple Animal Crossing designs. I have Marshall and, oh gosh, Raymond, I think is what his name is. They're little Animal Crossing villagers that you can have live on your island. And then the last one I have right in front of me, I think I may have more designs somewhere, but the last one I have in front of me, it's actually a Christmas design. Oh, it's hard to see. It's a cactus with Christmas lights on it. So it's like a Christmas tree, but it's actually a cactus. And I have a ton of these. there's a ton of them. But I also put these out. I have actually only sold like 1 or 2 of them since I've started doing this market, but I do put them out just because I have them. I feel like keychains like that actually do a lot better at like an anime convention or something like that, or like a Comic-Con. I've gone to a couple anime conventions and those do really well there. They just don't do as well in my local farmers market. I typically do a lot more sales in my crocheted items than that. But anyway, we'll move on to the bigger items now. Just these 2 quick things on the top that are not plushie related. I made this bandana, which a lot of people look at it, but I've obviously not sold it. I've just made it with cotton yarn. I was just doing some experiments with cotton yarn. I don't typically use cotton, but I thought it would be fun to try it. I've also got this mesh market bag. This is a free tutorial on YouTube, which if you've crocheted anything at all, you probably know about this. But it's a really cute bag, and like the mesh, you know, I actually used this for a while to put my plushies in because it worked so well. And I only have 30 minutes before my sister's going to be here to pick me up. Anyway, it's really cool. Love this bag. Okay, so these have been for sale for a while. I know the right person will eventually buy it, but because they take me a little bit longer, my price point has to be a little bit higher. So these ones I think I list for $38 or $35, something like that. And so it's just a higher price point, and people are just not willing at a farmer's market to pay that much for a plushie. But I'm not going to really go super down on price on them just because they did take me a while. I think they took me like an hour and a half. And I do like to try to pay myself at least $20 an hour if I can. Sometimes that's just not going to happen because sometimes I really want to make something and I just have to make it and realize I'm not going to get my full $20 an hour, but that's okay. It's fine. But this is a bunny. Oh, it's missing its headband. There's a little headband that goes with it. Hold on. There we go. That's the cute part of this whole thing, is it's got the cute headband that comes off. I probably need to sew it on so it doesn't fall off. But anyway, here's this little bunny. It's got a little pouch. So cute. Oak and Marlowe, I think, is the one who made this pattern. I want to make way more of these because they're just so cute. But again, I have to focus on the stuff that I feel like is actually going to sell. So I only have 2 patterns of this, but that's one of them. And then this one you've probably seen before if you're anywhere in this sphere of crochet. The little ballerina mouse. So cute. This, again, I need to probably sew this actually on the body. It's not currently sewn on the body, but it's just, these are just so cute. These are adorable. And in the future, I think I may try to embroider the eyes on, because I think these would be really cute for like little babies. But obviously with the safety eyes, you don't want to give a baby a plushie with safety eyes. So, you know, you live and you learn. But these ones have safety eyes, and they're cute, and I put them out every time, and they get a lot of attention, but they just don't get bought up, which to be fair, I understand, because they're at a higher price point. And then my next big thing is this Triceratops. I got this pattern off of Etsy, and it looked like it was going to be really small, but I guess I used a really big hook, and it turned out huge. So again, this is one of those things where, because it took me a while, because of, I mean, it's very shapely, right? It was a no-sew pattern, which was really nice, but because it's so shapely, it just took me a while. This yarn is just not my favorite. This is like a blanket yarn, not my favorite to work with. So it took me a while. And so I do have this one at a higher price point as well. And so it's just been kind of sitting there and not selling, and that's okay. At least these big items, they kind of get people into looking at my table, even if they don't get bought. And so I'm fine with it. And I love them. So, I mean, they're mine until they're someone else's. And then the next big thing I have, of course, again, if you've been in any of the crochet circles at all, you will know the Loaf Kitties. This is a pattern on Etsy, and it's so worth buying, really. I mean, they put, whoever did it, and I can't think of what their name is off the top of my head. Well, is it all by Jade? I don't remember. But they really did put a lot of effort and work into this pattern, so it's definitely worth buying, and people will buy them off the shelf. Like, you may not even be able to keep these in stock. These are one of the most popular items that I have, that I sell at this farmer's market. And like I said, I don't have a lot of sales at this farmer's market. In the past, I've only made about, the most I've ever made at one of these markets is $170. So, and that's after all the fees. And so they're very popular. They're very popular. So I've got this orange one. I also have a little story. I had a little kid who really wanted to get one, but she said the reason she didn't want to buy it is because it didn't have a butthole. So I literally lost the sale because it didn't have a little butthole. So to be fair, there's no buttholes on any of these other than one of them. But I will bring my yarn this time. That time I had forgotten my yarn and my hooks and everything. And so I wasn't able to just put one on for her. So I will have it available. If anybody requests that now, I'll have my yarn to be able to put that on there. But anyway, I got this orange one, a tangent, sorry. And then I have this like multicolored one. I don't know if you can tell, but there's like this little like light pink in it. It's such a soft yarn too. And then I've got this multicolored one. This one I've had with me for a long time. I knew it probably wouldn't sell super quick because it is such a weird color for a cat, but I just love the yarn too much. I had to make one. And then last but not least, I just made this yesterday. I have a little gray one. This one has the butthole. So maybe this one will sell faster. I wanted to do a black cat, but I don't know where my black yarn is. So my like black blanket yarn. So I felt like this would fit a little bit better. So it's a fully gray cat. Then, of course, again, I have the big hitter, the chickens. I think this is also an Oak and Marlow pattern. Maybe I don't remember. I don't remember pattern names and people. So, like I said, I'll have it all in the description below. But I've got this like tan one, which is hard to tell in this lighting. And then I've got this like white speckly one as well. I embroider the eyes on these just because that's what the pattern calls for. But it's a little bit easier, and they're really cute. So I've got 3 of these. And then I also have these 2 little chicks. This pattern actually has an egg that goes with it that you're supposed to crochet with it, but I just felt like the chicks were good enough, and they're so cute. Quick to make too. So I put these with the chickens because I think it's cute. Like, these are like the little baby chicks. And then the other ones are like the grown chickens. I don't know. And then I have one axolotl. This is my favorite axolotl pattern, and it's a free pattern on Instagram. It's just so cute. It's so cute. I've made 3 of these so far, and 2 of them sold to like 2 little sisters. It was really cute. So I only have 1 left, and I really need to make more, but I have a feeling this will sell pretty quick. And then I have 2 little whales. I've got a blue one, and then I got a little gray one. I actually made a shark in this color, and it sold so fast, so I need to make more of those. Then I have 1 pickle. My plan was to make lots of pickles and put them in like a jar and pull them out with like little tongs and stuff just to be cute, but I've only managed to make 1 pickle. So There's one pickle. And people love the pickle. People pick it up all the time, and they're all constantly like, you know, do I choose the pickle or do I choose this other thing? And they always choose the other thing. And so this poor pickle thinks it's gonna get its home, and it just doesn't ever. It's fine. Okay, and then I've got these two Octos. Same pattern as the keychain. It's just the keychain is made with a smaller hook and a smaller yarn. So that's why these are a little bit bigger. I need to make more of these, even though they don't really get a whole lot of interest. So like I said, maybe at a different market, it would do better. I gotta be quick because I have 15 minutes left before my sister gets here and we pack up the truck to go to the market. Got two bees. I need to put a mouth on this one. This was the first one I made, and I didn't put a mouth on it, and a couple of them did sell, but after I put the mouth on it, I'm like, I don't know, you tell me, mouth or no mouth? I don't know. This was a free pattern by Sammy on YouTube. I think that might be Creations by Sammy. Her YouTube channel is just called Sammy, and she's got that free pattern for the bee on it, and I love them. So I made a couple, and these have done really well, actually. Okay, then we got a couple of I gotta try to organize everything. I'm running out of space on my desk. I've got a couple of gummy bears. Again, it's not the most popular thing. People will pick them up, but nobody ever buys them, and it's okay. And then again, in light of the season, oh my gosh, things are just falling off my desk. In light of the season, I also have these little ghosties. They turned out so stinking cute. I want to make more, but like I said, nobody was really interested in them last time. I'm hoping they'll do a little bit better now, just because it is the season, right? Especially with my pumpkins being on my keychains and stuff, those will definitely go pretty fast. So hopefully, I'm gonna try to be really quick. I know I have not been quick this entire time, but this is another like a sitting frog, but just in a bigger yarn. It's a pretty big frog. Again, this is another one that gets a lot of attention, but nobody ever actually takes it. Some people, again, don't know what it is. Even though this one's green, I think it's the eyes, like the placement of the eyes. I probably should have put them actually in the bobble stitch, but it's hard to do that, and sometimes I feel like the eyes are gonna fall out because the holes are so big. So I typically pull them down a little bit, and I think it looks cute, but it is harder to tell what it is. So he will probably be with me for a while. And then I guess on that same wavelength, I've got some more little sitting frogs. I love this pattern. This is another free pattern on Instagram, and I absolutely love it. It doesn't take that long at all, and they just turn out so cute. But what I've noticed is I've made a ton of these, and it has to be green, otherwise people, and even green, like I said, people may not be able to tell what it is, but especially if it's not green, people are not going to know what this is. So that's what I've noticed, at least the way I've made it. And then we've got two of the bigger leggy frogs in this dark green, and then the lighter green. I want to make it in this other green too, in this green, but I haven't got to that point. So I have two of these, and again, they get a lot of attention, but they don't get bought. And then the last item I have, this is taking forever, I'm so sorry, are these little froggies. So I got a bunch of them, because again, these don't take that long, and so I was just kind of on a roll. And prior to this, I didn't have like a really good green yarn. This was the only green that I had, and this is that Mainstay yarn from Walmart, because I don't have a Michaels close by. That's because we have too many Walmarts, and Walmart doesn't let anything else in. So we only had the Joann's, and we all know how that went. We don't have that anymore. So I only have Walmart that has like good blanket yarn or like chenille yarn, and they don't even have good chenille yarn. So it's kind of unfortunate. The closest Michaels is 2 hours away from us, so I potentially could go get yarn, but this is the closest green, like the best green I had, and until I made my big purchase at Premier Yarn for that new like plush yarn that they just came out with. And so when I finally got the greens, all the like different colored greens and stuff, I just went crazy making frogs, because I love frogs. I think they're so cute. And so I made a bunch of these little tiny ones. And I also made some with really big eyes because that's all I had. I have different size eyes, but at the time I crochet a lot of the stuff at work, like in breaks and stuff like that. And so, or like slow times in the day, right? When there's not like customers in the lobby. And so I sometimes forget my stuff. So I only had certain size eyes. So some of these have really big eyes, but they're really cute. Anyway, that's everything. So I'm going to start throwing it all back in here. And I need to start probably getting myself together. I don't know if you can even tell by my background. Probably some of you are probably like, this background is awful. It's all over the place, and it is. And there's even mess that you can't see that you probably would believe based on what you can't see. Anyway, I'm not very organized is what I'm trying to say. And so I need to get myself at least somewhat organized so that when my sister shows up, she helps me. The other thing that I'm going to be having at my market is glass cans. I don't know if you know what those are, but I'll pop up a picture somewhere of my sister's cups. She just recently got into buying like vinyl designs and putting them on glass cups. So they're not her designs, but they do have, but you can sell them. And she really enjoys making them. And I do help out where I can with them. But she also is going to be bringing a bunch of those, and we're going to be doing like some Halloween designs and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about those. They did really good. Oh my gosh, I've been recording for 30 minutes. It's just going to be me showing you all of the plushies that I have, literally this entire video. Anyway, I'm so sorry. But she did a really good job with those. And so she sold quite a bit of them the last market that we had. And so I'm really excited. And she got some plastic ones too. She is going to make an Etsy shop at some point. And so when that happens, I'll post it somewhere. I'll make a video about it or whatever. So you can take a look at some of the designs that she has because they're really cute and they're fun. But anyway, she's also going to have that. But she's coming to pick me up here in just like 10 minutes, hopefully. And I think it stopped raining. So I'm really excited about that too. It's been storming all morning, like thunder, lightning, storming, pouring down rain. And so I kind of was thinking that they were going to cancel it because surely they're not going to have a market with active lightning. But so far I just got an email saying that it's still going to be on and it's supposed to stop at 6:30 in the morning. So it's 6:20 right now. So hopefully it's going to stop eventually. Hopefully it stays stopping because I don't hear it anymore. Luckily. And it's supposed to be really beautiful today. It's like 60 degrees outside right now. And the high is supposed to be like 82, which is really low for us. So I'm really excited. Hopefully people want to show up anyway, even though it's raining. So a little bit quick information since I have about 10 minutes about the market. Like I said at the beginning, it's my local market and it's very little, but it's really good. Oh my gosh, they have these scones. Okay, I'm going to show you those scones when I get there because they're so good. They're so good. If they have an online presence, I'm definitely going to post it because it's very, very good. But anyway, local farmers market. It's really great. It's really little. They have the full-on vegetables and stuff like that too. But they also have a decent amount of like food vendors. They do a good job of doing like a mix of stuff, right? So I'm one of like a few makers, but there's really not that many. And usually, like I said, there's only that one other crochet artist and we do similar but different things. And she's so sweet. Like I said, she's great. I have absolutely a lot of respect for her. I bought some roses. If I have them, I'll show a picture of them somewhere because they're really pretty. Anyway, I get off on really bad tangents. If I start talking about anything, we just go. And thank you so much if you're still here because honestly, I've been talking entirely too much. Anyway, but the price of this market is really cheap compared to what I've seen. I've applied for 6 markets in the last couple days and hopefully not getting all of them because that's a lot. I have a full-time job and a daughter and a husband. That's a lot. So hopefully I don't get all of those, but a lot of those, like the minimum is like $100 to rent it. But this one is $10 per table. So like per space, right? So it's $10 flat and it's really nice because that's like nothing. Plus on top of that, you do have to pay a 5% of 5% of whatever you sell. So it's $10 plus 5%. So, you know, for example, I think the last market I had, which wasn't last week, but the week prior, because I do it every other Sunday, just to give myself some time. Because again, full-time job and a toddler. But I made $79. My sister made $54 on her cups, which, like I said, not super high, but compared to the fees that you'd have to pay, it's like nothing. So I don't know to calculate that. I have no idea what it is, but basically we pay the $10 plus the 5% fee on top of what we made. So it's really cheap. I mean, I think the most I've paid is like $17, which is crazy. Now, obviously I'm not making a ton of money, so that could be part of it, but it is the nature of the city that I live in. Just like I said, it's just older people and they're just not as interested in stuff like that. But there is a lot of kids that come through, and kids love my stuff, especially my keychains, because I feel like because they're cheaper, parents are more willing to pay for them, you know, because it's $5. $5 is cheap. Kids, I mean, if it was up to the kid, they would buy everything because they love it, but it's the parent that's willing to, you know, what they're willing to pay for. And usually they're willing to pay for a little $5 keychain, which is nice. But anyway, it's really cheap. It's really great. Everybody's really nice. There's only been a couple instances where I've had with people, but it's not anything too crazy. Like a kid coming up and trying to manipulate me into giving her something for really cheap. That's happened a couple times, but other than that, it's been great. So I really love the market. I'm not sure exactly how much I'm going to be able to record there because I use my phone as payment for like credit card payment and stuff like that. Debit card, credit card payment through Square. So I can't really record my interactions, especially if people are using using their debit card, which that's typically what people use. So unfortunately, I don't know how much recording I'll do, but I will show you my table. And if I'm able to, I'll show you my setup and stuff like that. And we'll just see how it goes. Also the scones, because you really need to see those scones. They're so good. I'm going to be sad if they're not even going to be there. Who knows? With the rain and stuff, I don't know. Some people may not show up. But anyway, I have talked way too much. 30 minutes. Hopefully I can edit that down a little bit so you don't have to sit through too much. But I can only imagine that it's probably still going to be about 20 minutes. So if you like chatty vlogs, sure, this is your cup of tea. But I'm really sorry. But I'm going to keep drinking my coffee. Look at my cup. I got this from my sister a couple Christmases ago and I love it. It's got like 2 handles. Anyway, I will let you go now. And I'll show you my booth setup next. And hopefully we do okay. I'll let you know how much I make at the end. It's probably not going to be much, especially because it's rainy. I don't even know if I'm going to sell anything, to be honest with you. But it's still worth going. It's still worth, you know, I love stuff like this. I love this. I love it. It's a lot. It was really hard when it was really hot outside, like early on in the summer. But now it's like beautiful. I'll do this all day long, even if I don't make anything or hardly anything. So anyway, my sister should be here any moment. So I probably should get off and gather my items now. So I will see you at the market.
Wow, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
It didn't get on anything important.
Yeah, it's just the ground. It's our dad's anyways. It's fine. Nah, he'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
Opening this chair.
Wait.
that short walk I just made, I don't remember which one's which.
Wait,
That looks like he may or may not have put energy in both of them.
That's fine.
Sorry if he did. That was very confusing. I think that one is yours. Also, my glasses. Yeah.
yeah,
My
because
glasses
yours
change
is
the
pink.
color of everything, so I can't tell.
Oh, are you videoing right now? Oh,
Did you?
I was recording myself doing this.
Oh, are you gonna edit out that first part because of what I said?
Yeah. Or I may not.
So loud. This is what happens when you work in the middle of the city. Really large, loud trucks. Anyway, it's October 16th, and it is well past what you've seen up to this point. I'm on my lunch break, as you can tell. I've edited up to this point, and the video is like 40 minutes long. And I didn't even record that much at the actual market. So I apologize. I'm learning. I will continue to get better at these. This was just my first video that I ever recorded for a market vlog. So you'll have to forgive how long-winded the middle is, talking about my plushies and such. I will not do that again. I will break that down a little bit. I also want to apologize for the fact that I completely lost the notebook. The notebook is somewhere where I wrote down everything that I sold for that market, but I don't know where it is. So you'll have to forgive me. I can kind of remember how much I made. So I'll kind of give you an idea of how much I made. I believe for the market that you've just watched, made about $70. And then my sister made about $40. I had to do the math in my head real quick. Because I'm using my phone to record and I usually use my calculator. Anyway, so she made about $40 and I made about $70. And so together, what's that? $110, about $110, $120. That's before any fees. For the fees for this market, I think I mentioned at the beginning, it was $10 and then 5% of whatever you made. So I believe we gave them $15 or something like that. I don't know. My math is off. I don't have my calculator right now. So that's about what we made. And I apologize. I can't remember what I sold and what I didn't. At this point, I have had another market in between. And so I can't remember if I sold it at the first one or the second one. So you'll have to forgive my disheveled mind and my unorganization as far as everything. I will get better at it. I have to try to record in between my full-time job and then my daughter, and so it's been kind of tough to keep up everything. So hence the reason why I'm recording in my car at my lunch break, because my coworker just walked by. I was waiting until she left. I can't remember exactly what I was saying, but probably that this is the reason I'm recording in my car on my lunch break, because that's all I have time for in decent lighting. Anyway, so again, I apologize for the disheveled situation if you've gotten to this point. Man, we're busy today. What the heck? If you got to this point, I really appreciate it. I appreciate you watching. I did record another vlog for the market that I had a couple weeks ago. Oh, they're backing up right here. Really? This is what I get for recording in front of the bank instead of behind it. But my coworker was parked back there, and so I didn't want to talk to myself. Anyway, a customer literally parked right next to me, so I've got a coworker on that side, a customer on that side. But I think he went in the bank. So really quick, I'll wrap up. Thank you so much for watching. If you get to this point, I will work on making better quality videos, but in the meantime, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.